It is the Riot Podcast. Welcome in. You've made it through the week.
Congratulations.
Unless you're behind and you're just listening to this on a Monday, and then that probably feels really insulting to you.
It's awful, too, if Friday's the start of, like, your stuff. You have to work through the weekend.
You work Friday through Tuesday.
Well,
what
in this
a nightmare.
podcast, though, we at least have some distractions for you. Fever, a band on RadioU that's back.
Mm-hmm.
They joined us, and then the Protest came in and hung out in the studio with us as well.
Yes, so we've got that in the podcast. What else is in there, Isaiah?
We had a nice little throwback from Disney. They're bringing just a classic back to life.
Okay.
Home Alone.
I thought you were going to introduce that yourself.
Like, not going to spoil it.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you were too, but I was like,
you're fine.
At first, you were like, do you want me to say it? I was like, I'll say it.
Yeah,
I really enjoy the awkwardness that we only get on the podcast intros.
I know.
When we get on the air, it's always so smooth, but for some reason, when we do the podcast intro,
that's
we
why you
can't
guys
read
get
each
this
other at all.
bonus stuff. This is extra content
Yep.
you don't get anywhere else.
This is off. Everything is off the cuff, but
That's
this is really
right.
off the cuff.
We do talk about Disney Plus. They announced the Home Alone remake that they're making.
Yeah, so you can get some details on that. And it's actually coming out later this year, believe it or not.
We also talked about Hudson's vacation.
Ooh, I'm so excited
did.
for you. You're going to have a great time.
We didn't just talk about it with, like, we had people texting in and stuff, and then we started talking about it with the protests. So everything is about my vacation. That is what is driving the show right now.
We're ready for you to pack. We're ready for you to get ready.
And it sounds like everybody's ready for me to leave.
That's what I was kind of thinking.
Not at all. Even though Isaiah will be filling in.
Get out of here.
Nobody wants to talk about Nikki's time off.
Well, I'm just taking next Wednesday off, but I'm not going anywhere fun. So why focus on that when your vacation seems more fun?
Well, we could talk about all the restaurants locally that you could go on your day off also.
There's all these cool places.
Yeah, there's somewhere. You could go to Sheetz. You could go to White Castle.
No,
you could go.
I always go to like Chick-fil-A if I have a morning off.
Oh, yeah?
Because normally with work, by the time you're done with their breakfast hours, but that's some good stuff there.
There you go.
Another place that you could visit that also will pop up in the podcast is if you want to get tattooed up,
you're
you can head to
right.
McDonald's.
Oh, yeah? Wow, that was some misdirection because I thought you were going to do it with the alcohol at IHOP.
Listen, there's a lot of alternate things you could be doing at some of the restaurants that I don't know if we were going to or inside in the first place.
Eventually, all of the restaurants seem to offer all of the 7 deadly sins.
Yes.
Some of them more deadly than others.
Yeah, for
We're looking
sure.
at you, pancakes. Well, thank you guys so much for listening and hopefully enjoying the podcast. Text us and say hi this weekend. If you find a story you want us to cover, text 877 to RadioU and send it to us.
Or if you find a place that I need to go on my vacation next week.
Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge area. Please send those to us too, Hudson.
Yeah,
We'll be
or
prepared for
just
his trip next week.
Anything in the Tennessee, Kentucky that's along a major highway. Who knows? Maybe I'll be able to stop. I'm trying to check before we go because we also want to ask for nice reviews.
Yeah, if you haven't reviewed the podcast.
Do we have any? We don't have any new ones.
Make sure you subscribe. When you're subscribed, if you unsubscribe and subscribe again, that actually puts us up higher in the podcast algorithm and stuff. And so that helps get our podcast pushed to new people.
Yeah, so unsubscribe and resubscribe, like Nikki said, and give us a nice review. We'll read it on the show.
Yeah.
And just have a great weekend.
Hudson, Isaiah, good weekend to you too. Bye, everybody.
We'll report back on Monday.
That sounds good.
It is the Riot.
If you've ever asked yourself, just how bad can it get? We've got your answer right here. Worst of the Riot, RadioU.
Now we're hearing about another one in Italy where they didn't just set the record for Italy. They just set the record for the continent of Europe.
Oh, for the heat?
Yeah, the hottest temperature recorded.
119? Is
119, almost 120, nearly 120 degrees Fahrenheit in the town of Syracuse on the island of Sicily.
That is hot no matter where you're at.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if that's Celsius, Fahrenheit.
Yeah, it's still hot because sometimes you'll hear like the UK will get a heat wave.
Yeah.
And they'll be in the 80s or something.
Yeah, that was theirs earlier this year.
And it's very odd, but remember there's no air conditioning set up or it's just not the same.
Because it doesn't normally get to 80 degrees.
Exactly. So when you hear we're like 100, 110, something like that, you're like, that's a heat wave. But in some parts of Europe, even 80s can can just be miserable and dangerous.
Hopefully it's a dry heat.
I don't know at that point.
It doesn't matter if it's dry or...
Nope.
But Let's see. They say it still has to be verified by the World Meteorological.
That works.
How do you say it?
Meteorological. Yeah.
It's hard because it's meteorologist.
Yeah.
The meteorologist. Meteorological
Society.
I can't say. No, the society.
Yeah, it's a society.
It's an organization, but I like the society.
It's Italian.
That makes it sound a little more like a bunch of people in top hats that are like tutting about the weather.
They get together every so often. They verify the
over
heat.
a cup of tea.
That's it.
And they play croquet.
Yes.
They talk about the weather.
When it's not so hot. They stay inside until then.
The World Meteorological Organization still has to...
I think you're saying it right.
I know, but it doesn't sound right, though.
How about you say the WMO?
There we go. The WMO, now that we've established, they have to verify it. But previously, the hottest temperature ever recorded in Europe was in 1977, Athens, Greece, and that was 118.
Ooh.
So this one blew by that by 1.8 degrees.
It's too hot.
Yeah, it's too much. And what's interesting about this, in addition, is the reason that they say that this is happening, they're calling it an anticyclone.
What does that mean? Do they have a cyclone? Did it not come?
Oh, here we go. An anticyclone is a high pressure system where atmospheric pressure is relatively higher than the air surrounding it.
So it brought in the heat?
Yeah, but I don't know if the WMO coined that term or if it's just something CNN made up to make it sound scarier. But they also even named it.
What'd they name it?
In the Italian media, it says they've named it Lucifer.
Is it a Netflix thing?
Yeah, right.
Isn't Lucifer there?
It is. That's a show. It's
and if you don't want people to be worried, or maybe you do.
It's also the name of the devil. So,
well, okay, yeah.
So it explains why it's so hot, probably.
Thank you.
I think that adds it up. That makes it. I don't know which came first, the hot temperatures or calling the thing the devil.
Sure.
But why even beat around the bush? Why not just call it the devil?
I think
the devil has come to Italy.
I think at that point they're trying to make sure you're motivated to stay safe, stay inside, not only because of the anticyclone, but also the record temperatures.
That'd be confusing, though. You see news stories coming out of Italy. It's like people are fleeing Sicily because of the devil. Because Lucifer has descended.
I bet you it makes more sense when you're there.
Maybe they use that more commonly.
19-degree temperature.
Yeah. So
that must be terrible.
Yeah. And there's wildfires going on there. So not good. Not good.
It's the Worst of the Riot on RadioU.
Well, I guess yesterday was like an earnings call or something like that. So there's all kinds of news with Disney Plus, but let's talk about this one right now. The newly confirmed Home Alone reboot that they are
they doing a movie or a TV show out of it?
It is going to be a movie. It's called Home Sweet Home Alone, and they've announced the cast for it. It will star Ellie Kemper. She's from, what's her name in The Office? Erin from The Office. She's Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
That's the one. Yep. Yeah. Okay. So she the mom?
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Although she doesn't strike me as a mom. Doesn't she seem young?
No,
I mean, I know in real life she can't be, but her characters always seem so young.
But I think you're basing that from watching The Office, and The Office is older.
She's very, and well, Kimmy Schmidt too. She's very naive, and she wouldn't be ready to have children. Maybe she has children in that show. I haven't watched the whole thing.
I think you're overthinking that.
I probably am. Let's see, Rob Delaney.
I can't watch it now.
I just can't picture Ellie Kemper as a mom. I'm sorry to tell you.
Sorry, Disney. Your casting is wrong.
The whole movie about a child getting left home alone and defeating burglars is going to be ruined for me.
This I can't believe.
No. So Rob Delaney, I would assume, is going to be the dad.
Yeah.
He is. I remember he's the. I think he's the hotel manager in Tom and Jerry.
Oh, okay.
The new Tom and Jerry.
Didn't see that.
It also says he's in Deadpool 2. I don't know who he played in that.
Maybe you should start with that one next time.
Yeah, well, that's more popular, but I just don't remember what he did in it.
So they're saying Home Sweet Home Alone will premiere on November 12th. It's not an in-theater thing. What else did they say?
Just in time for the holidays.
Yeah, they said it's basically going to be the same scenario as the very first Home Alone movie, which is from 1990.
Yep.
So it's going to to be the same story.
I guess a question many might be asking is Macaulay Culkin involved?
Oh, is he going to do anything?
He's not listed in the cast, so it's not like he's going to play a major role. Who knows? Could he have a cameo?
Maybe he pops
Perhaps.
in.
It's not like he's got a lot of else going on, it doesn't seem like. So maybe. But he's not the dad, which is what I think some would hope.
Oh, they thought, that it would be his family.
Well, if it was him, though, it'd be a little unrealistic. You would think as he was left home alone so many times, he learned from his mistakes. And if he was ever to go on and have children, he would never do what his parents did.
Well, maybe
right?
I think we're overthinking it.
What if he was the one left home alone once again as an adult?
And they came back.
His wife and children leave him behind. And it's just a movie about him sitting on the couch having a nice quiet weekend.
Now that right there, everybody can associate with. What were the robbers called? Didn't they have a name? The bandits?
Yeah,
were they something?
I don't know if they... I don't know.
If anybody remembers the...
Yeah, I'm sure somebody does.
The Home Alone robbers.
It's Joe Pesci plays... Is that one of them, right?
Yeah.
Joe Pesci? I don't think he's
guy.
coming back for this movie either.
Well, I guess we'll find out. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see
you
what
know
happens.
What? It might just come at the right time of year, and if it's free on Disney Plus...
It doesn't matter then.
Yeah, we're all going to be watching it. You get around the holidays, and as much as we all love the old Christmas classics, sometimes you just need to watch one that's not the exact same, or at least that's close enough.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's comforting, but not the exact same thing you've already seen. This could be it.
Now, Chuck, thanks for texting the Water Bandits. But that I actually looked it up. Based off that, it's actually the Wet Bandits.
The Wet Bandits. There you go.
That's what they used to call themselves. So thank you for starting me off on the right direction.
What's the movie called? Angels with Filthy Souls or something like that?
Oh, the movie.
Isn't that what it's called?
You guys can start. We can look it up.
We'll just
places.
relive all of the Home Alone movie.
Chad, thank you. The Wet Bandits. Everybody says something else. Jeff says Sticky Bandits. I think it's Wet Bandits. Drew said Wet Bandits, so we'll go with that.
I feel like this is a Mandela effect situation where you just know their name's something, and so you're gonna, in your mind, you're gonna be like, I totally remember it's this, and
we were all wrong.
It's all wrong.
The definition of insanity is putting the riot on again and again and expecting a better result. It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
Last night, the first time in a long time that I remember baseball feeling like a big deal.
Yeah.
We've gone, I guess the last time probably was when the Cubs were in the World Series. But since then, nobody pays attention to baseball no matter what's going on. But last night was
if you do, Hudson's making you feel bad.
I mean,
what's baseball even?
I like baseball, but who watches it? I love baseball.
Isaiah's here. Maybe he does. Don't just make a sweeping statement.
No, I'm making it. It's just not a... Even though Isaiah and we may watch it from time to time, and people watch it it's not a big deal. It's not like even during the World Series, nobody wakes up the next day and it's like everybody baseball fan or not, is talking about the World Series. But this was a big deal. Everybody was
talking about this.
Talking about the Field of Dreams game. And for all that being said, I didn't watch any of it.
Of course, that feels right.
I did watch instead preseason football, which is exactly what baseball does not want to hear.
Yeah,
well,
the biggest game for baseball.
They had from the movie from a long time ago. They used the field where that was filmed, and I was watching the intro to it.
Yeah,
and it looks like they brought Kevin Costner out, and they kind of made the whole thing of the baseball players coming out of the cornfield and stuff.
Course, yeah.
So you can tell they really had a good time playing that up.
So Isaiah, you said you actually watched some of it live as it was happening.
I did. I can't lie. I watched the first inning. And that was all I watched, but it was really, really cool.
It was
just
the
the way
coolest
it
first
looked.
inning you've ever seen.
It was a cool first inning. They kept on zooming the camera out at the cornfields. It was very, very cool looking.
Did anybody see the ending of the game though? Like even though we didn't watch it live, because I watched the highlights. Did you see it?
Yeah,
it was a crazy ending.
What was the crazy part about it?
So it was the bottom of the ninth.
Was it the ghosts?
It was just
was it the players? What happened?
It was just like the classic baseball scenario of the one team is up by one run in the bottom of the ninth, and there's one guy coming up, and it's his last chance to save the game. That's what happened. The Yankees were up 8-7. The White Sox, Tim Anderson comes up to the plate. He's one of their best players, and he hits a home run into the corn, and that's the game because they hit the home run, and they were the last team to bat. So that was it. They won the game 9-8, I think. And it is so cool that just the outfield, there was no stands in the outfield, and it was all the corn. So he just hits a home run into a cornfield.
Yeah.
What do you do?
And that was it. And then, so right after he hits the home run, it did concern me a little bit because they started shooting off fireworks from right behind the outfield.
Yeah.
And I was like, isn't that bad in the corn? What if it catches on fire?
No, it just makes popcorn. That's all it does. So Isaiah, who was actually in the game? Because it shows like they had like classic uniforms and stuff, so I can't tell.
Oh, it was the White Sox and the Yankees.
And the Yankees, okay.
Yeah.
And thankfully, the Yankees lost. So we can all be happy about that one.
Isaiah, make sure you just get your Google Doc out on what Hudson likes and doesn't
Yeah, I
like.
know. Let me just take notes on all this.
Oh, everyone hates the Yankees.
You don't
Come
want to
on.
come in
Yeah.
here and like something that he
He
does.
clearly doesn't.
hate.
They also, Tim Anderson, who hit the home run, he
Yeah.
said in the interview and post game, he said he's never even seen the movie.
Aw, really?
Yeah.
Well,
I'll have
him and
to
I
see
both.
so it's Field of Dreams. I'll just see where it's streaming because I bet a lot of people will
it has.
watch it.
Oh,
I bet
yeah.
you the numbers blew up on Field of Dreams or maybe not as much last night, probably leading up to the game.
And are you supposed to
then
watch it with your
afterwards this
dad?
weekend.
Like, isn't it
It feels like
it's
a dad movie. I
where
mean,
you
it stars
cry?
Kevin Costner, so
At least it's a dad.
he is a dad. Unlike Ellie Kemper, he's very
very daddish.
paternal figure. Did you see? Also, the ticket prices were insane. That's how you know it was a big deal.
Yeah.
Because now, granted, they could only seat 8,000 people.
Oh, I thought it's way more than I thought they could.
No, yeah, but for those 8,000 people, the cheapest ticket available leading up to the game, like on the yesterday afternoon, $1,225.
Oh, my gosh.
Cheapest.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That was one of the first things I thought too when I was watching because you could tell like the stands were small, like there wasn't a lot of
Yeah.
seats. I was like, I wonder how expensive it was to get in there because they were
That's
showing the
crazy.
stands. You know, there were so many famous people there. I was like, those tickets were all like VIP. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't have bought one of those.
Which is kind of too bad. You would think a
They're
game in a
comping them.
cornfield in Iowa, it would be like the hoi polloi out there, but instead,
I'll tell you
it's
what.
Kevin Costner.
If I paid for the tickets, I would have taken some corn with me.
Yeah, oh,
yeah, heck yeah.
I'm taking my bag and I'm taking some sweet corn.
I saw the players for the White Sox actually were eating the corn, and I just
Really?
want to know, did
No
it actually
way.
taste good? Or?
I don't know.
No chance.
So that was the Field of Dreams game last night, which everybody seemed to be pretty excited with.
Yeah, it would be cool if they can do that again, but I don't know if it would be the exact same to do it a second time, but they need to come up with more events like this that are to make baseball fun.
Something to listen to when you meant to work out but tripped into a box of donuts. This is Radio U's Worst of the Riot.
Did you see the guy who got arrested at McDonald's for tattooing people?
In the McDonald's?
In the McDonald's.
Like in the inside area?
Yep, in the lobby.
That's because no one else is going
In
in.
the dining area, yeah.
No one would catch him.
But and the employees, they're too busy working to
Or-
actually pay attention to them.
Or they got some kickbacks, some free
Yeah,
tattoos.
maybe they were. That's right. They were the ones benefiting off of it. Well,
Oh,
the problem
my.
was this guy, he was not only tattooing out of a McDonald's, which technically is not a crime, I guess, but what is a crime is tattooing without a license and tattooing someone who's underage, which he also was doing.
So it was in South Carolina. They said it was late on a Friday evening. You could go get your tattoo done
Yeah.
and eat at the same
Get a
time.
Big Mac
Yeah.
and tattoo a Big Mac on you
Oh, that's perfect.
to memorize the occasion.
So the guy's name was Brandon, and it was in connection with an August 6th tattooing at McDonald's about 70 miles from Columbia, South Carolina.
Oh, that's helpful information.
I want to
Isn't
know
it?
where.
Yeah.
I need some work done.
Well, now he's in behind bars or
he'll
something.
be
so
out and
yeah,
it'll be
I don't know
fine.
what kind of punishment do you get for tattooing in a McDonald's?
I think people are most concerned about the health aspect of it.
Yeah.
Traditionally, if you get a tattoo done, it's in a studio.
Uh-huh.
It's a parlor.
Yeah, they have the little cloths they wipe and on your arm or whatever, sanitize you.
You're in a sanitized place.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been in a McDonald's in a
Yeah.
while, so I don't know how clean
Well,
it's staying. But
maybe the salt from the fries, cleans it out. It's
Takes care of
sanitary,
it.
isn't it?
when you're done with the tattoo, they put a salt, like a salt layer on it. I think that would burn.
Yeah, ouch. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it would be that big of a deal.
Now-
but it's with a child when it's somebody who's under 18, and I'm sure that's why this guy.
That's the problem.
It's because it was a child, and because he didn't have a permit. He obviously those are connected. So he knew how to tattoo. He had the equipment, and so he knew he had to have a place to run his operation where he'll do it under the table for you.
Sure.
And
Literally
I
and
just don't
figuratively.
know why. Yeah, I just don't know why he chose a McDonald's.
Well, okay. I think don't overthink the tattooing though, because if you get any work done, it's nice. There's a big setup. It's in a space. It's great.
Yeah.
Because we've been around bands for a very long time. You can also just get a Amazon kit.
Yeah, right.
And it's not for anything pretty. Like, look at my line.
Yeah.
And so you can get, mini style of tattoos done at the table at a McDonald's.
Yeah, I believe that.
It doesn't mean that they're going all out and
So
doing
it
a
probably
thing.
wasn't very fancy.
I don't think so.
Did you feel bad for that child, however old they were? I don't know.
Stop saying child because it makes me think it's like a baby.
It was probably a teenager.
I don't know. Young, they said.
They're getting their tattoo. They're all excited, and then it gets interrupted by the police. All of a sudden, now they have a half tattoo.
And your nugget McOrder from McDonald's.
Yeah, and it has to get cold because the police are questioning you. What a horrible night for them.
I would suggest you find a better place.
Yeah.
And if someone offers to do your tattoo at McDonald's or like a Wendy's or a Taco Bell, oh my gosh, you just
They
say
just
no.
let it go there.
Even if it's free and you find another place to go.
Yeah, I guess so. But if you're underage, you got to do something.
You can find someone else.
Think of it as athleisure for your ears. Radio U's Worst of the Riot podcast.
There was one thing that a lot of fans were very upset about, and that is the next Marvel movie that is going to be released is called Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. It's got more of a kung fu type feel to it, and it is coming out later this year. For some reason, this article does not tell me the date. I think it's October, sometime in October. And Disney wanted to let you know that when that releases later this year, it is going to be only available in theaters. They are not doing premiere access with it.
They're not doing the $30 thing?
Yeah, they're not doing that for this one.
I wonder why.
Yeah, I don't know.
Looking
Maybe
at you,
it's
Black Widow lawsuit.
Yeah, I don't know if it's really. That has to play into it somehow. But still, if Disney was very confident that they had a leg to stand on with that, I'm sure they would just keep doing their thing. So it may be related to that, or maybe they're just thinking they think they can make more money this way, which seems difficult to believe based on what other movies have been making that haven't been streaming.
I think the Black Widow one really threw them because it just died down so quickly.
Yeah.
And people blamed it dying down on, well, then so many got together and watched it like on Disney Plus at home.
Yeah.
So instead of those individual people paying to go see it in theaters,
Right.
I think they just had to accept that the interest in it just died down.
Yeah.
We weren't having Black Widow parties. And we weren't all, cheating by having, tons of friends over for the one $30 showing. But something has to get blamed for it. And so I think that's what they're trying to blame. But I don't know. They're not saying a lot on, why this movie will only be in theaters. Because I felt like Disney was kind of happy before Black Widow with how that whole setup was going.
Yeah, that's what's interesting because they
make a lot of money with it.
That's what I was going to say. Even when you look at Black Widow, they are upset, it seems, that it died, that the movie just dropped off a cliff after the opening weekend. But that opening weekend, it made a lot of money, and not just in theaters where it did make a decent amount, but it also made a lot on Disney Premier Access. So you wonder if they're a little shy after how that all went down with Scarlett Johansson, or if they just think that there's a reason that they're not going to make as much money with it doing it that way.
Sure.
It's hard to understand.
I don't want to be mean. Never want to. We want to be positive, right?
Yeah.
But when watching the trailer for that movie, and because it's a character so removed from the main Marvel universe that we're so used to, I felt like they would have said it was only on Disney Plus and not in theaters. So I thought it was going to be the other way.
Are you talking about Black Widow or Shang-Chi?
One,
yeah, no,
one.
I'm totally with you. I think Disney needs to temper their expectations with this, because I think that there's a couple things. One, like you're saying, it is not a character that even probably the most Marvel diehards, I've never heard of it. And I'm not saying that I'm a diehard, but like I'm in on all the movies and I have no idea who this is. And the trailer didn't look so amazing that it's really drawn you in. And then on top of that, they also have to remember there might be a bit of an overload of Marvel content to where when you're putting stuff out so frequently, it starts to not feel as exciting, especially, again, when it's somebody that most people aren't familiar with, a character that people aren't. He's never been in any of the movies before.
Yeah.
So we don't know that, and we don't know him from he's a big name. It's not like you're bringing in like the Silver Surfer or something, although maybe.
Even that doesn't feel.
Well, for you.
I know, I've heard it, but even that one doesn't feel like the strong one.
Just like kind of names that this is not somebody that anybody. Only if you are super into the comics, I'm guessing, is this somebody that you're familiar with.
I need to look it up again because Shang-Chi, I think, is not even the right way to say it. It's got a
we
different.
don't even know how to say.
I don't even know with that, but that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
But a lot of people call it. But you'll have to wait 45 days for it to be from theaters into Disney Plus.
You might be thinking that this won't be quite as bad the second time around. Well, you'd be greatly mistaken. You're listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
And I didn't realize how eager people would be to help me plan my vacation.
Next Friday, he's going to Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge, and so you'll be gone through that Monday after.
Yeah. So I leave Thursday, but I'll be doing the show on Thursday, but I'll be leaving afterwards and getting there on Thursday sometime, and then I've got the whole weekend all the way till Monday.
Yeah,
got a lot to cover, and with all the restaurants people are recommending, it's going to be hard to find all the time to eat at all of them, but I'm looking forward to that. So who do we hear from?
Well, Jenna said the gondola and the ice skating at Ober is something you want to try.
That is, I've been looking at a lot of the different ones where you go up the mountain and on a ski lift or whatever, and then there's stuff to do at the top of the mountain. So that's one of them, and that one looks really cool. And like they all have their pros and cons, I guess. With Ober, it seemed to me, and maybe Jenna knows more about this, that you have to pay to go up and actually enter, and then they also want you to pay for any other thing you want to add on up there.
Yeah.
So it's like you could just go up there and stand, and that'll cost you $50. Or you can go and stand and ride the mountain coaster,
and that's $50.
Another $50. So, I mean, I don't know exactly how it works, but I mean, I'm going to have to do some of that stuff for sure, though.
Maybe there's because I was telling Hudson, like, everything fun is up. So you there's a lot of ski lifts, like a lot of little gondola rides.
Yeah.
So maybe there's another way. You'll have to walk up the side of the mountain to try to get like at least $50 off your trip.
Yeah. And some of them they do. It's kind of just all inclusive, and then they have a few things you can add on. So I don't know. We'll see how much of those I have time for. I don't know how different they all are either. We're going up the ski lift. Like what do they all have different at the top of the mountain?
Well, she just texted back, said legit money. Just be aware. Anthony said, and this is what Meg had recommended, a place called Bennett's Barbecue. He said the burnt ends are a must-have.
Okay.
So that must be
I do love burnt ends.
That's a barbecue thing.
Yeah.
And says the Rainbow Falls hike is a very good, fairly easy hike to do.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so try that one.
I wanted to look into, because it's not as glamorous, but I didn't know what kind of hiking and that kind of stuff you can get into. And I mean, it's in the mountains, so there must be some good stuff.
Jesse says the Smoky Mountain Pancake House. So it looks like there's a bunch of pancake places.
Yeah.
It was good for breakfast.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. Normally I don't get up in time to go out and eat breakfast, but I think on vacation, ironically, wait a minute,
time.
Hold on. I just said normally I don't get up in time. I get up at 4 a.m.
Well, you're here and you have breakfast.
But yes, I can't eat breakfast here. I can't get it from a restaurant normally. So on vacation, I'll sleep in past 4 a.m. and still be able to get up in time to go get breakfast.
Well, if anybody has any ideas, again, thanks for planning his vacation for him.
Yeah.
You almost have all your meals prepared.
Do we have like a AAA agent that would like to schedule everything out, give me an itinerary, a triptych?
That would
Anybody
be good.
want to get a triptych for me?
Hudson's going next Friday to Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. So if you've ever been around in that area, it's good to help him out.
Yes, and I will be contractually obligated to take a bunch of pictures and videos, and especially of the food, and post them all over the socials. So be on the lookout for that.
The show might not technically be going with you, but we are.
Yeah.
So make sure you take all the pictures so we can feel like we were on the trip.
If you missed out on the next Riot moment when it originally aired, you don't know how lucky you are. You're listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
When I go on vacation, I'll actually be able to go out for breakfast. And if I go to IHOP, I might be able to get some beer with my breakfast.
Oh, are they going to sell alcohol at IHOP?
Yeah, they sure are.
I don't think that mixes well, guys. You shouldn't have such a carb-heavy meal and alcohol. So, like if you're having pancakes and beer.
Maybe it's a little hair of the dog that bit you.
I don't think so. And I'm worried it's kind of like, what was the other place? What's the...
Cracker Barrel?
No.
Waffle House? Denny's?
Waffle House and the pizza place, which pizza is a stretch. Chuck E. Cheese. That.
Okay. Oh, okay.
It's that. It's like when you bring in alcohol in certain areas and certain places, everybody's so amped up for certain things, and it doesn't work.
I imagine the IHOP crowd being very calm.
Combative?
No, I think it's generally like a more senior special type crowd.
See, I don't think it is.
You don't think so?
I see a lot of, because I'm on the public freak out Reddit forums, a lot of IHOP.
Well, it's open 24 hours, right?
That's why. That's 100% why.
That's why you get those issues. But so they're going to contribute to those issues, I guess, during the evening hours, the overnight hours.
Is it spiked syrup or what is it?
Let's see. They're going to have local beer and wine options, as well as your national brands like Bud Light, Blue Moon, Corona, and they'll have mimosas.
It's not a brunch place.
And what do you mean? It's open 24/7.
I just don't feel like it's the same fit.
I'm pretty sure they have brunch on the menu. So you can get your Barefoot Bubbly Brute wine.
Oh, no.
And pair that with your... I keep wanting to say Grand Slam, but that's totally Denny's.
That's Denny's,
So whatever they have at IHOP.
The pancakes.
Yeah, but don't they have like a specific... What are they known for?
Well...
That's
pancakes.
the problem with IHOP, isn't it?
Just lots of different
Everybody
ones.
knows Denny's. They are synonymous with Grand Slam. What is IHOP synonymous with? It's about to be getting drunk at 6 a.m., apparently.
I guess the concern is for people who are already impaired.
Yeah.
And going there, and then you're adding more to it. But this is only being tested in 3 locations. San Diego. 3 locations in San Diego and in New Mexico. And they're trying, it's the Bubbles Wine and Brews menu, and they'll see how it goes.
They also want to expand to New York, Rhode Island, Maryland, and Ohio in the next few months. And then all franchisees.
I forgot that there were franchises.
Yeah, they will have access to the menu soon. So they're trying it out. And I guess we should be fair. If you go to IHOP, will have to abide by all of the same local laws anyways. So it's not like they're offering alcohol when nobody else is.
Sure.
So if it's like 3 a.m. after last call everywhere else, IHOP shouldn't be contributing more alcohol to the situation. They shouldn't, but who knows?
They might. They say that the president of IHOP said introducing alcoholic beverages is a terrific innovation and evolution for the company. They say in hopes of attracting new guests during different times of the day. I read that as attacking guests because fights will break out, but it's fine. Sometimes these businesses just need to learn once it happens, and then they'll just take it away quietly.
Do you think IHOP, they're open 24 hours, but they're generally, people would not go as much for dinner, I would think. So maybe, and that's why they tried the International House of Burgers IHOP thing a while ago. They're trying to get people to come in at night because it'd be weird if they opened at like 2 a.m. and then stayed open until 2 p.m. and then closed.
I don't know.
So they're trying to justify being open all in that middle time.
Well, Carl, good point. Mimosas are way too fancy for IHOP. And I might just agree with you on that. And then someone else said something. Oh, Hardy says Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity.
That's their like
is that
fancy
a pancake thing?
Or like their signature dish.
There it is.
Yeah, Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity and Bubbly Broody. And then you'll be good to go.
Never want to hear you say that again.
We would say rate and review the podcast. But let's be honest, that would probably hurt more than hell. The Worst of the Riot podcast.
It is time.
Yay.
We've got a party in the studio.
It's a lot of people.
It's the protest is
Good
here with us.
morning.
Good to have you with us, guys. Why don't you first of all go through and introduce each of yourselves.
Should we go in order by most handsome, or what do you usually do here?
Do you have the list of where you know, or you already have that prepared?
Well, it's pretty much Jared starts, and then we just kind of fight for our
you
position.
go after. That's fine. Whatever
about
you guys
right.
want.
So my name is Joshua Bramlett. I'm the lead singer.
What's up? I'm Adam, and I'm the lead guitarist.
Hello.
My name is TJ, and I play guitar.
I'm Jared, and I'm the drummer.
All right.
Handsome one, yes.
Handsome
yes.
He's the handsome one, but TJ, you're TJ, right?
Yes.
Does anyone tell you look like Chris Martin from Coldplay?
I have not gotten
oh
that.
my gosh,
I can say
wow.
that.
Really? Because
That's a first.
It's uncanny, actually, to me. Maybe the hair's
I'm
a little
not-
different, but
I'm not mad about it.
He was all,
yeah,
he was all
see?
yellow.
There you go.
I was going to say, no, it's a good joke. You do look a little yellow today.
Aw, good one, good one. Well, welcome to the protest for RadioU Ohio. They're going to be at Move the Hills tomorrow in Logan, Ohio. So we're so glad you guys got to come in today.
Very stoked,
stoked to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having us.
You are very, very welcome.
So tell us first about the live show experience. It looks like you guys have been out playing a few shows already this year, so you got your feet wet a little bit. Are you back into the full touring swing of things, you think?
Yeah, we were very fortunate. Last 2020 was rough on bands, on touring musicians and ministries, but we were able to probably squeeze off about 30 shows. Most of them were outside in 2020, but this year it's been an amazing summer. We've been on the road most of the summer. It's been so good to get back out there and see our fans and our friends, and just the whole environment and the whole language of everything is just more positive this summer. So,
Yeah.
Right.
yeah, I mean, we are beyond stoked to be playing live again. That's
I
for
feel
sure.
like people really did miss having concerts, and as people move inside with concerts as well, like it's just everybody appreciates it. And for some, didn't realize that bands need the touring aspect. Like you can put out songs, you can put out music videos, but like you have to go tour. That makes the band a possible thing. So supporting the band while they do shows is still really important to get back into.
Yeah.
Totally.
Definitely.
So also I wanted to ask you guys about the music video for Show Up to the Showdown because we just added that to RadioU TV,
You
and
can
it
watch that
is
starting today.
yeah, it's really cool. So walk us back all the way to where that idea came from, where that was going to be like, as soon as you wrote the song, did you know this is the video, or where did that come along?
Okay, when we wrote the song, had no idea the video would take the shape that it did, but usually, like, we're all very creative guys, and we just wanted to, so we always come together, like, everybody bring your ideas, and let's just figure out how to do, like, the best idea. And we all, like, we're huge movie buffs, and, like, we love going to the movies, and we just kind of came up with, like, okay, what if, with the song, it's about just kind of going through your challenges and always showing up for your challenges and try to take them head on.
Yeah.
And you're not going to win every single one of them. So we just kind of like wanted to have a fun take on that. So we just started like, okay, what if we can just play in a movie theater or like in front of the screen or something, then just start having like all these different movie cut scenes. We wanted to spoof like certain movies, but it just kind of morphed into different things. But we just kind of like, okay, let's see, can we do this? And we had a few other ideas. We're like, okay, this is the best one. Like, can we do this? And then we just started.
Like the Western.
Exactly. Like we
The
just started.
basketball
We just like,
court.
yeah, we all like Jared, he's really into Western. He's like, it's kind of like his thing. He loves having a mustache. Like TJ, I know.
I know you guys all.
TJ loves basketball. I mean, he knows stats, and Josh, like they know stats like crazy. And the dance off. My wife is actually a professional dancer, and I was like, we have to like
Have a dance off?
We have
Yeah.
to dance against each other. So we just really wanted to have fun with this video, and so once the juices got going, we just like, yeah, let's do this, and let's just see if we can make it happen.
Yeah, and I think, our videos up until this point have been very serious, and, we always have something to say. You know what I mean? And, of course, this song also has something to say, but we wanted to do a video that just brought people some joy.
Yeah.
Especially in this time where it's been crazy, and, it gives us a good excuse to just be in our natural state, which is somewhat idiotic, and so
Ability to flourish.
Exactly. I mean, we were right in our wheelhouse, and it was kind of a blessing because there was a lot of moving parts to this video, and we didn't have much time to plan it. So, we had to find a movie theater that was old school that still did you know what I mean?
Yeah, still had the look.
Yeah, we had 1 week to get everything going, and our extras were just fans and friends from all over the country, and
Wow.
it was
came in.
it was such a blessing. I mean, there were people from 10 hours away that came to be in a scene that's it probably took them an hour, and then they drove home. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it was
They were glad
really
to
really
do
cool.
it.
That's really cool that you fit it all into a week, because I was thinking watching it, I was like, man, I wonder how all those different locations and stuff, it feels like that
To
must
put
have
it
taken
together?
forever.
Think of it as athleisure for your ears. Radio U's Worst of the Riot podcast.
We were talking off, if you were on the Radio U, again, Riot Facebook page, you saw that we got talking about how, because everything is about me, and I'm going to Gatlinburg. And
Well, you're excited because you haven't had a vacation in a while.
I haven't.
So you're going
And
to Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg.
I've never been to that area before, but you guys were saying that you've been, and there was a beauty pageant involved.
Yeah. So,
Which one of you participated?
And one.
yeah, he definitely won that one. No, so there's actually a couple Gatlinburg things. It may have been that same night. So so our old bass player, great dude, his beautiful daughter, when she was really young, she was in a beauty pageant in Gatlinburg. We were on the road and we swung by and
All to support.
yeah. And what we didn't know was I think we all thought that we were just gonna watch her event, her category. We watched every age bracket, every category.
It took 19 hours. That's how long it was.
Are these the type where it's the really big crowns and
There was a
really
big crowd.
overdone? Yeah.
And I don't know if it was that night, but we slept in our van in the Smoky Mountains near Gatlinburg. It was a lot colder than we thought. Jared didn't have a bench seat, and he's the youngest, so he slept in that little wedge between.
Oh no!
And for some reason, we were all really afraid of Bigfoot that night, and it was kind of hard to sleep. So. Good times.
But the beauty pageant went well.
It's hard to go, I think, in and out of a beauty or any kids event.
Yeah.
You think you can just slip in and out for the one child that you want to see, but I don't think that's how it works normally.
Not in the beauty pageant world. It doesn't, Hudson.
They will shine a spotlight on you and shame you for leaving during that little girl's routine she practiced so long for.
Well, if you want to head over again to Radio U Riot on Facebook and YouTube, you can see the protest, the glasses. Do you guys sell them at shows? Or
We sure
and you
do.
have pins too?
Yep.
And shirts, I'm sure, other merch.
Oh, yeah.
All that good stuff.
All the good stuff. And so then Move the Hills is tomorrow with Spoken and Disciple and the protest. And then definitely talk about your EP that comes out on the 27th.
Yeah, August 27th.
You can tell you're excited about it.
Yeah.
Well, it's more who is the most excited to
It's a
explain
classic.
it.
Who's going to answer this one?
Yeah, if we don't kind of look at them sometimes, Sarge and I will usually just kind of do all the talking. So
You got all the details.
Jared and I are definitely the quiet ones. So, no, we have an EP coming out August 27th. It's called Death Stare. We're super, super stoked about it. We put a lot of time and effort into it during the COVID break, and we're really, really stoked with how it came out. We do really feel like it's our best work yet. So,
Well, we were talking with Fever earlier this morning because they're doing an EP too, and so everybody's always like, "Well, how many songs does an EP make?" Or it's all going to be on this one instead of releasing them individually. How many songs are you guys going to put?
So this will be 6 songs.
6. Okay.
6. There you go.
That seems to be the EP number.
Yeah. Any more and it becomes an album, I
It's
think.
an album with that. Well, that's cool. So Death Stare, that's the EP, is going to be out on the 27th. Do you have any special plans for release day or anything else in the next few weeks? Just more shows?
So the release day, we're actually playing with Saliva. Remember that band?
Wow.
So that'll be
That's
a good.
random.
Yeah, a good little
Sure is.
celebration.
And there's going to be. I'm not sure what time it is. I'm not sure if I can say this, but I'll go ahead and say it. There's going to be a really cool merch bundle for this EP, so we're super excited to get that out there. And I think we're just pumped to put out new music. Our song Greater is going to be on this as well, since that was kind of on its own. So super pumped.
Well, the EP again, Death Stare, will be out on the 27th. Check out the protest online for more details. Move the Hills tomorrow with Spoken and Disciple for that show. And then always show up for more of the showdown.
Yep.
Music video for the song and for the protest as well. You guys just are awesome. And we're so glad you got to come in and hang out. It was so nice to meet you guys.
Likewise.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Anytime you're in the area, for sure.
And we are honored that you guys play our stuff, and really the genre that we're in is honored by you guys. So thank you.
Thank you.
For sure.
Sweet. Oh, we love you guys.
Thanks for listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Oh no! I missed it! Do it again!
You can hear us live every day on the RadioU network through the RadioU app or at riot.radiou.com.